Welcome to ProgrammingKT. Today in this tutorial I am trying to explaining about the concept is polymorphism. So in last video I already explained about what is polymorphism and how we can achieve polymorphism in Java. So we can achieve polymorphism in two ways, either by using overloading or overriding. So overloading we can also call it as a static polymorphism or compile time polymorphism, and moreover that overriding we can also call it as a dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism. So polymorphism is nothing but ability to take more than one form. So and moreover that I explained already overloading. So we can achieve overloading either by using method overloading, constructor overloading, operator overloading. So method overloading is nothing but same method name and parameters are different. So return type may be same or different, but method name must be same, parameters are different. Return type is may be same or may not be same. And constructor overloading is nothing but, so anyway class name is same as constructor name but parameters are different. Operator overloading is nothing but we have only one operator, that is plus. So when you are trying to apply two operands as a integer, or it may be anything, double also, float also, it may be apply like mathematical sum. And if you are trying to apply two strings, it will work like concatenation. Now in this video I am trying to explain about overriding. So overriding is nothing but we can achieve by using inheritance concept. In parent class, if there is a method, that method implementation is if you're not required, in that case you can override in child class. So best example is object class toString method. In most scenarios we can observe in string class, when you are trying to print string reference you will get some meaningful name, otherwise you will get class name at the rate hexadecimal hash code. So even though in your model classes also, if you did not override toString, it will print like fully qualified class name at the rate hexadecimal hash code. So when I'm writing the code in IDE, I will show you inbuilt toString method, and moreover that our own toString method also. For now, I am trying to explain about what is overriding. So in whiteboard, so overriding is nothing but parent class have some method, that method is not required, not good, depending on your requirement you can override in child class. So override you can achieve by using inheritance. That is the first point you need to remember. So let me try to explain about. So you have class parent. So in parent class you have any type of method, void some, whatever it may be, let me try to print some assout statement, print logger, whatever it may message you can print it. So this implementation logic is not good. Anyway, I'm writing assout statement only, but in real time we can write our own logic. So for understanding purpose I am trying to take simple logic. So I have class child. So in parent class print method implementation is not good. So if I can pass any string, let us imagine. So here if I can pass any string, let me try to provide string parameter. String s. So directly I am trying to print, imagine printing, I am trying to print s. So this is parent class print method implementation. So instead of that printing, I want two uppercase printing. I want to print the string in uppercase format. So parent class logic is whatever string I am passing straightforward is printing. Instead of that, I don't want whatever string, instead of passing straightforward printing, I want in all letters in uppercase. So that can that one I can override in child class. So I have class again. I'm trying to create child class child extends parent. So now in child class I am trying to override that method. Method means print method. So I am trying to write void print. and corresponding string. So instead of that, first I need to, either it may directly I can to uppercase apply, or else let me try to assign string. Uppercase string s dot to uppercase. I am trying to apply to uppercase is one of the method that exists inside string class, right? To uppercase. Then I am trying to print SOP of uppercase string. So this is nothing but overriding. Moreover that I need to apply one annotation. By default it will come in IDE at the date override annotation. So this is nothing but override. So with the help of inheritance only override is possible, right? This is the first point you need to remember. One of the most important point. So with the help of inheritance only overriding is possible. Without inheritance overriding is not possible. So parent class implementation method is not good, or moreover that if you want to customize parent class implementation method implementation, you can override in child class depending on requirement. This is nothing but overriding. So at the time of overriding, you need to follow some rules. So I already declared. Let me try to explain about one by one. So these are the rules for method overriding. So overriding is possible. So overriding is possible with the help of inheritance. That is the first point. Return type must be same at primitive level. So in overloading method return type may be same or may not be same. But in overriding method name must and should same at primitive level. So third point, it is possible to change class level. If your method return type is class type, in that case we can return parent class, child class also. If method parent, let me try to write example, then I will write it properly. Let me try to create one class called animal, or else take some real world scenario manager also. So any kind of concept you can consider. So here class, what is covariant return type I am trying to explain. So class manager. So this is the one class, try to imagine this is the one class, and one more class I am trying to create, class general manager, extends manager. So manager is the parent class, right? So this is the imagine like functionality. Now I have these two things I am trying to use in another classes. I have class parent. In parent class my method return type is manager. So I want to make method return type is manager get manager, something manager object. So whatever implementation logic you can implement it and return it. So in child class, if I have class child extends parent, so here instead of returning manager general manager, I can return general manager get manager. This is overridden method, get manager. So this is overridden method. So if we can observe here, this is called covariant return type. So at primitive level, parent class method return type, child class method return type must and should. At class level, parent class method, parent class method, return type is manager. In child class, at the time of overriding parent class, it's child class also we can return. Here in this case, parent class method return type is manager. Manager class child is general manager. So I can return general manager. It is also perfectly valid. So that is called covariant return type. And moreover that we can't override final methods. If I can make method is final, so final methods overridden is not possible. That is also one of the most important point. And static methods overriding is not possible. So anyway you won't get any compilation error, but here you will get compilation error for final methods. But in static methods you won't get any compilation error if you are trying to override. That is called method hiding, not method overriding. And moreover that private methods overridden is not possible. If you can declare, I mean parent class method it is a private, so that private methods overridden is not possible. Why? Because private methods not visible in child classes, right? So that is also one of the most important. Private methods overridden is not possible. Now let me try to explain about all these points in IDE. Now let me try to explain about method overriding with an example. So in last video I already explained about overloading example. So in this video I am trying to explain about overriding example. So before that let me show you the object class toString method and string class toString method. So let me try to open object class toString method. So object class is from 1.0 onwards. To see all methods inside object class, press Ctrl O and open toString. So if you can observe here, toString method logic is class name. Fully qualified class name. Get class will return fully qualified class name at the date hexadecimal hash code. This is the toString logic in object class. Now observe the logic in string class toString method. So this is the I am trying to open string class documentation, search with the toString. So if you can observe this, it is returning whatever the string you are trying to pass, same string it is returning. This object is itself returned, which is already a string. If it is string, same string it is returning. So this is nothing but when you are trying to print object reference of any class, if that class does not contain toString method, object class toString method will be executed. Object class toString method logic is fully qualified class name at the rate hexadecimal hash code. So that's why when you are trying to print any string reference, it will print string, string content, not object class. Why? Because in string class it is already overridden. So that's why first JVM will check is there any toString method exists inside that current class. Then only it will print corresponding logic inside the toString method with corresponding class. Otherwise it will go to object class toString method. Let me show you that one example. So I have class employee. So employee is having some attributes. Let me try to take to one. So emp id is the one attribute, variable, and string emp name. So first without toString I will execute, with toString I will execute. Then you will get the difference. Emp name. Now I am trying to create one parameterized constructor. Now in this class, employee class, toString method is not there. So if I can create object for employee class and I will print that employee reference, object reference, it will print object class toString method. Let me show you that. So employee, I am trying to create object for employee class, whatever I created just now. Employee new employee. So I am trying to provide employee ID. Employee name is Varun. Now if I can print this employee class object reference I will get fully qualified class name at the date hexadecimal hash code. Fully qualified class name is nothing but oops.polymorphism.employee at the rate hexadecimal hash code. Let me show you that. So oops.polymorphism.employee. This is the fully qualified class name at the date hexadecimal hash code. Just now I explained, right? Object class toString method. Fully qualified class name at the date hexadecimal hash code. Why? Because in employee class toString method is not there. So if you want to represent some meaningful content, you need to override toString method in employee class. Then only JVM will prefer employee class toString method. Otherwise, it will go to object class toString method like this. That's why in string class, toString method is overridden to represent string, meaningful content of string. Now let me try to override toString method inside employee class. So Alt Shift S is the shortcut key to generate toString. So this is the toString method default implementation. I mean IDE default implementation. Now let me try to run. Now object class toString method won't be executed. Why? Because JVM will check. In employee class toString method is there. Yes, it is there. Then print execute this logic, not object class logic. If I can print this, it will print logic like this. Let me try to show you. So now it is not printing object class toString method. Now it is employee class toString method. So depending on your requirement, you can adjust, no problem. Not only, whatever IDE provide default, logic. So here I am trying to update like JSON format, JSON object representation, right? So depending on my requirement or your requirement, you can adjust on your own, no problem. So I hope you got some clarity. What is overridden? What is the purpose of overridden? If parent class implementation, in this case object class toString method implementation is not good. So in that case, in my class, that is employee class, I override that object class toString method implementation. This is called overridden, method overridden. Now let me try to write some examples about how method overridden is some cases it is not possible, right? Now let me try to show you. So first point is overridden is possible with the help of inheritance. So anyway, this employee class is child class of object class indirectly, not directly. Let me try to write examples for directly. So for that I am trying to create one class called parent. So in one .java file, any number of classes you can create, no problem. So this concept I already explained, but only one public class is allowed. So with that public class name only, we need to save the file. So one parent class. In this parent class, I have one method called public void print. Print. This method is expecting some string. So string. I am trying to print the string as it is. So if I can create object for parent class, parent p equal to new parent. Now I am trying to call with that object reference to print method. So with some passing some overriding. Now let me try to execute. Overriding, it is printing. Now I don't want, my intention is to show you overriding. So I want to override, I want to display all in uppercase. Here anyway, this implementation directly whatever string I am trying to pass straight forward, it is printing. So I am trying to override parent class implementation, print method. So in that class child extends. So class extends, class interface implements. Interface also extends. So extends parent. Now I am trying to override parent class print method. Shortcut keys Alt Shift S V to override the corresponding method. I want to override print method. So I am trying to override print method. So I am writing my own logic. So string, whatever string it is providing, I am trying to convert it into two uppercase. Now I am trying to print it. Parent class implementation logic is not, I am not okay with parent class. That's why I need to override in child class. Now if I can create object for child class, this concept also I explained. Parent class object is also created, possible. Child class object parent reference also possible, but we can access only parent class properties. If child class object, both parent class properties and child class properties also we can access. Now I am trying to print. Now let me try to execute. Now parent class implementation is straightforward, whatever it may be I can pass, it is printing. Now child class I am trying to implement, all are in uppercase with overridden concept. This is nothing but override. So with the help of extents, I mean inheritance concept, we are achieving overriding. So this is nothing but overriding. Now let me try to explain one by one. So private methods overriding is not possible. So if we can make, I mean parent class method is private. So this method is not visible in child class. We can observe that compilation error method print of type, I mean child must be overridden implement super type. So I need to remove this. So in that case, I mean this private method is scope is within the class from 22 to 26. Anyway, this method belongs to child class. This is not visible, right? That's why at the time of over, I mean that annotation it is giving. I mean we need to override, but internally, I mean we can observe here private method scope is within this, but you are trying to override. That's why it is this compilation error. That's why private methods overridden is not possible. Next, final methods also. Final, if I can make here the date override. So this is also not possible. So cannot override final methods from parent. So now you are saying, I mean, from with this, I mean, final method concept, I mean, some meaningful message it is showing, right? So anyway, previous one, private methods means within the scope, but we are trying to explicitly applying override. That is not possible. So final methods and private methods overridden is not possible. And static methods also overridden not possible. So if I can make above method is static, so that is instance cannot be overridden static method. Again it is saying that the instance here it is, I mean static method, I mean instance method static. Let me try to apply override annotation. Now let me observe the comparison error. The method print of the type child must be overridden or implement the super type. So this is nothing but some confusing concept, right? But anyway, remember method, I mean static method overridden is not possible. I mean all this confusion because of this override annotation. So if I can remove override annotation, these two methods are separate like private only. So this static method belongs to this parent class, this static method belongs to this child class. So if we can apply override, you will get confused. Anyway, remember static methods and private methods we can't override. So I hope you got some clarity on method overriding. And moreover that inbuilt method overriding also I explained, that object class toString, string class toString, and moreover that our own employee class toString also. So if you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe Programming KT. Thanks for watching.